Okay, it's going.
Okay. So Anthony, I want to thank you for coming to your first review. This is really exciting, and I've been so happy to have you here for the past year.
It's really exciting for me as well.
Great. Okay, so here's how this works. So here's your version, and this is my version. So you can see on the front page, we just have kind of, this is the rubric. A 4 is exemplary performance. That's really like you have gone above and beyond consistently, like out there. We have also a 3, which is consistently meets job expectations. That means you're doing your job, you're a solid, and then sometimes, you know, there's a little bit more movement to go to really go above and beyond in some areas if that's appropriate. So we also have the 2, which is meets job minimum expectations, some development needed. That really means like you come in right at what we've asked, but with a little bit more help or support, you might be able to get up to that level where you're really doing the solid job. And then we also have a needs improvement, a 1, which is really, we need to really go back and kind of assess what we need to do to get you to be successful in a certain area. Okay? Great.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we go through this together.
Okay.
Great. So we're going to start here on your work habits, and I think that you've been really dependable, and that's so great. And you'll see here. So here's where we have a 2 here, for instance. So we have meets job minimum, and I would love to. You can see right there. I put in. I would love to set a goal for you to be turning in your reports, which we're going to talk about later, and have really been really excellent work. But for you to turn in your reports a little bit before they're due. So what I'm getting right now is that they're coming in like a hair over the due time. And at that point, I understand that that's the deadline, but that's a little bit late for us. So I have to turn them over. I have to, you know, I have to review them before I go into my staff meeting the next day, and I report on what's happened. And we have a whole bunch of other ones coming in. So I really expect for you to actually turn them in before the due time. You know, so they're due at 5 o'clock. So really to bring them in really that day, and that makes it a lot less stressful in terms of like gathering all the paperwork.
I guess one thing regarding that, from the point in which I first started up until this point. You know, as you know, I've been given a lot more tasks and responsibilities, of course, which is actually a good thing as well, because I guess that shows my progress. But along with so many responsibilities, it just kind of makes it a little tougher for me to actually turn them in, you know, as earlier as I was actually doing them before when when I had actually first started in this position. So. Yeah, what would you suggest that I do, given that I've taken on more responsibility, making it a little bit tougher for me to turn in things a little bit earlier than I had previously done?
So I guess I would ask you, what do you think you need to be able to get those to me earlier in the day?
Maybe just a reminder, because I'm definitely doing so many more things, and as you know, working with kids, you can get pulled into, you know, all different kinds of directions. So I don't know, maybe a reminder, maybe.
So why don't we also put down as one of your goals? I think you can set yourself an Outlook reminder. Maybe the day before, whatever you think that you're going to need, for you to set an Outlook reminder that's going to come in and beep at you and let you know that it's time to start, you know, X, Y, or Z. It's time to start writing, or it's time to start proofreading, or whatever part of that you think you're getting tripped up on, and I'll check in with you about that also in our next check-in meeting next month.
I think that's fair.
Great, excellent. Okay, so we also have the quality of your work, and I actually give you a 3 here because I think it's really solid, and also we have, you know, I've seen a lot of improvement in the reports that are coming in. So I know I said they're coming in a little bit late. They've also, the quality of them has gotten much better, and I think we'll also talk about that a little bit more. Do you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah, definitely. As I've learned the system a little bit more and how things actually work here, you know, I definitely pay more, you know, attention to detail when it comes down to being more specific about what's actually needed, what you guys are actually looking for. So
yeah, and I've definitely noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I gave you a 4 for work hours. You've never been absent, you've never been sick, you're here on time, and you're using your overtime really appropriately. So just went ahead and gave you a 4 there.
Okay.
So here's something that's really exciting. So we have a section for supervisory skills, and right now you're not supervising anyone.
Okay.
But your work with the kids has been really solid and really great, and it seems like you're really enjoying it.
I am really enjoying working with the kids.
Great. So that skill set is so strong with you that I think that it might be really exciting for you to take on a really small group of volunteers.
Okay.
And bring them in. They would need to learn about our programs, and we would need to supervise them, make sure that they're kind of coming in on time.
Okay.
There's a whole list of things that we do with our volunteers, and I think that we're just looking at bringing in a new group of volunteers right now, and I think it might be really exciting if you took on a role of also supervising volunteers. You would still get to interact with kids, but take this group. Do you think that sounds like something that's exciting?
I would love I would love those responsibilities. Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's actually something that we are working on and we will develop, and there will be some training for you, and there will be some training that I'll do with the volunteers that you'll interact with, but that's just one of the kinds of things that I wanted to put out there as being, now that it's been a year and you have such solid work with the kids, that might be a really exciting thing for you to move into.
I knew that position was out there, and that was actually going to be something that I wanted to ask you about during this interview as well. So I'm really glad and excited that you had brought that up to me. And I definitely, that's definitely a goal that I want to strive for.
Excellent. I'm really glad to hear that. So we have here technical skills, and I know that just a couple months ago we had a check-in meeting, and you said that you wanted to learn how to do a mail merge.
Yes.
So congratulations. Our last mailing out to the families went really well. How did that feel?
Oh, it felt really great. It made life a lot more easier, not only for me, but just for the families to be able to get what they needed on time as well. I felt really accomplished by doing or completing such a tough task. So.
It's like magic, isn't it?
Yes, it is like magic.
I know. It's great. So great. So I have a 3 there if you met that goal, and I think also we're going to start some database training.
Okay.
So I think that everybody's going to enter into the database training cycle, and then you will also go into that, and so you'll be learning some new kind of technical skills.
Okay.
Great. So under written and oral communication here, we also have a 3, good solid work, and I would like to tell you that, so I said we would talk about your reports again later. One of the things that I have noticed is even though I would like you to get them in a little bit earlier, I have seen a marked improvement in them, and it appears to me that you are in fact proofreading them. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct, which is actually another reason why I might be kind of pushing the bucket here. As far as getting them right, there at the deadline. So.
Okay, I see that. Great. So one of the other goals maybe is now to see if we can push all of that a little bit earlier. So I really have seen that it's clear that they're being proofread before they get to my desk, which I really appreciate.
Okay.
So now maybe the next goal is to move that up a little bit, proofread and in earlier in the day.
Okay.
Okay, great. So your attitude has been really, really excellent, and I think that it seems to me that you are becoming much more comfortable in this job, which is great, and that really shows. So we have also a section here for relationship with our people/customers, and so our customers are really our parents and our kids. We have 2 different groups that we're working with.
Okay.
And I know that we set a goal of more parent communication, and I'm wondering, first of all, how you think that's going.
Well, before we talk about the parents, I would just like to say that, I think that one of my strengths is actually, having good communication skills, especially when it comes to working with our kids. When it comes to working with the parents, I think that I've been, a decent enough communicator, just in terms of reporting some positive things while working with them. But I do find it to be a little difficult for me to, you know, fairly evaluate their child's progress when it comes to things that might be a little bit more negative, just, you know, in terms of, you know, seeing and knowing what their reaction might necessarily be. So
Right. So I've also noticed that, and it really is. It's a difficult place to be, and so I would very much like to see you be able to communicate with the parents some of the challenges, we like to call them challenges, some of the challenges that their kids are facing in our programs. And so one of the things that I think might be really helpful is if, you know, in our next check-in meeting in a month, if we go over some of the language that we can use, because I think one of the things that might be really good for you is if you have language that you're armed with that is good, positive language for challenges. Okay.
I would like to say that I've never actually held a position where I would have to have so much contact with parents before. That being said, the more and more I actually get exposed to working with parents on more of a continual basis, I do find myself improving, you know, quite significantly.
Yeah, I think that's really excellent. And the more you become comfortable with it, the more it will be easy for you to kind of slip in this language that we have, you know, a training for, to be able to really use it so that it feels, you know, it's language that comes, it's listed, but it comes out and you can feel much more comfortable using it. So does that sound like something that would be really helpful for you?
Sure.
Great, excellent. So I'm putting that down as well also.
Okay.
And so then we also have your personal qualities, and you have really been able to kind of come into our organization and really seems like you are fitting in really well, and everything seems like it's really been a good fit. So thank you very much. That's awesome, and we're giving you a 3 there also.
Great.
So I was wondering if you have any comments, if you have anything that you wanted to also bring up.
Well, as you know, I've been working here, of course, for a year. So I think one of the toughest things, you know, for a new employee can actually be adjusting to the culture. So I think it probably took me about a good 3 months before I was actually able to really acclimate myself. And in the midst of those 3 months that it actually took me, I do now finally feel like I'm actually really a part of this organization, and, you know, being something big, and just, you know, I feel like everybody's very close and tight-knit, and it seems like, you know, a family. I'm really happy to be a part of that family.
That makes me feel really happy to hear you say that. Great. And is there anything that you feel like you need from me?
Well, one thing, of course, that I did see was that a lot of what we basically put a lot of threes in here. What would it actually take for someone to actually get a 4?
So I think, you know, a 4 really means that you go above and beyond and that you are really excelling in something. So we really kind of reserve it. So it doesn't mean that a 3 isn't the best. It means that 4 is being reserved for something where a person is really going above and beyond. And so above and beyond really means, like, you know, you're doing something extra. So 3 is really you're doing everything that you should be doing, and you're doing it well, right? Because a 2 is you just met. We don't really want people to just meet. We want people to do things. We want them to do them solidly, and that's a really great place to be. And 4 is for something that is more than that, really more than is being asked of you. Yeah, and I think in a lot of those places where we have a goal, then next time we'll be working on the goal throughout the year, and then next year we'll sit down and see, you know, if we've met those goals, and then set new ones. Okay, great. So all you have to do is go ahead and put your signature there. And you can be on your way and back to work.
Thank you. I am definitely glad that you took the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me and just go over my performance, and also to give me some goals. So now, you know, I can definitely say that I have some things to shoot for.
Yeah, and we have work to do over our next check-in meetings.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.